Since 1891, Ball watch has been renowned for accuracy under adverse conditions, and today there's a beautiful range of watches to choose from. My good friend Tony from the Blue Mountains has spent the better part of last year looking for a watch that suits his lifestyle. Tony works on the railroads here in Australia, and he's been closely following the progress of Ball watch for a while now. The model he finally settled on was the Fireman Enterprise, and he has generously sent it in for us to have a close look at and review. Watch enthusiasts worldwide know very well just how good Ball watches are, and this one is no exception. The year is 1891. The place is a town in America called Kipton, Ohio. On the railroads, an American conductor's watch stopped working for 4 minutes. The result was a catastrophic head-on collision between two locomotives. The engineers of both trains were killed, and the dead bodies of 9 clerks were removed from the remaining debris. After this tragic event, the officials decided never to let an incident like this occur again, so they enlisted a Cleveland, Ohio jeweler named Webster Clay Ball. Webster C. Ball was to bring accurate and consistent times to the great American railroads. Today, Ball watch is one of the most respected and established watch brands in the United States, and the official standard watch for the US railroad companies. In fact, I'm surprised at the quality offering at a sub $1,000 price point. Very hard to top indeed. The finishing of the watch is extremely high standard, as one would expect from Ball Watch Company. It's tough, it's understated, and has tritium gas tubes in the hands and dial to shine brightly at night. The Fireman Enterprise is powered by the Ball RR1103 automatic movement. It's basically an ETA 2824-2 movement. So Ball puts an emphasis on accuracy under adverse conditions. The Fireman is also ISO 1413 certified to withstand shock up to 5000 G, as well as protection against magnetism to 4800 amperes per meter. So the movement itself is regulated top grade movement. Now, looking closer at the watch, if we have a look at the handset, they're beautifully highly polished bevel Dauphine style with tritium tubes on them. The second hand is an ultra thin stick with tritium tube on one end and the RR logo as a counterbalance on the other end. Now, having tritium tubes on the handset requires a little bit more thickness in the hands. So in other words, the spacing on the center tube means that the hands are separated slightly more than usual. So if you look at the spacing between the hour, the minute, and the seconds hand, there's quite a substantial amount, and that's because of the tritium tubes. Now, speaking of the tritium tubes, there's 15 of them on the hour, the minute, the seconds hand, and the dial, and they allow for nighttime reading capability. So as you can see, they're long, thin indices, and they're very elegant. So what that basically means is that these tubes glow day and night, 24/7. They don't need an external light source to glow, so they glow on and on and on. So in subdued light, they're a little bit difficult to see, but in dark light, when your eyes adapt, they're brilliant. You can read the time flawlessly, not a problem. And the 12 o'clock marker being a different color at orange, it allows for even easier legibility. Now, if we have a look at the crown, it's a signed screw down crown, and it basically allows for 100 meters of water resistance. So it's a robust unit, and the action of the crown is wonderful. One click, it pops out. As you can see, 2 clicks and we can hack the movement. We can adjust the time to wherever we want and start the movement again. We also feature a date window at the 3 o'clock, and 1 click allows us to change that date, 5th, 6th, 7th, as you can see. Lock it in and away you go. Now, it's relatively firm in the screw down action, which tends to lead towards a engineered product, a very strong product. So I like the watch. I actually like the way they've designed this. It's very strong, very robust. Now, the crystal itself is a flat sapphire crystal with an anti-reflective coating. It's doing a great job. This watch is basically oozing with character. You know, with its case shape, its subtle nuances throughout, it's very unique. Now, what makes this watch even more desirable is the case dimensions. The watch is basically a 40mm case diameter with a lug-to-lug distance of 48mm. It features a thickness of 11.5 millimeters and a lug width of 20 mil. So the watch itself is wonderfully sized, probably ideally sized for your average male, and I'll put it on the wrist to show you guys. Okay, so there you go. So as you can see, the watch sits comfortably, very, very nice on the wrist. Being a 40mm and a 48mm lug to lug, brilliant. It's not even high. At 11.5 mil, it sits quite comfortably, quite petite. So it's a tool watch. It's an everyday tool watch, but it's a wonderful experience on the wrist. And the bracelet, as you can see, is superb. It features a combination of U-links with highly polished center links. As you can see, it's superb on the wrist, extremely comfortable, a pleasure to wear. So let's take this off the wrist again. Okay, so there you go. So as you can see, the watch itself is a wonderful design. It's quite an interesting case shape with its separation of the case from the lugs themselves. It features a highly polished satin brushing, but the way that the watch sits, the way it fits, is superb. It's very, very thin lugs, which gives it that nice elegant feel, and the stainless steel body has a robust feel and a weight to it. And although it is a dressier looking watch, the watch is also designed to be more of a sportier daily wear, as it's rugged and it's a tested watch. I like that in a watch, it's lovely. The watch is classy and utilitarian at the same time, and the most unique feature of Ball watches is those tritium tubes. The tritium gas is radioactive and it reacts with a layer of phosphor which coats the inside of the glass tubes. And because of this, the light or the glow is always on. This makes it ideal for safety's sake, as it can be read in the dark at all times. You know, it doesn't require an external light source to power this, which is wonderful. And like I said, although it's not the brightest experience, you have the comfort of knowing that 3 or 4 in the morning by your bedside table, you'll be looking at this and you can read the time superbly. Your eyes have adjusted, very clean, very legible experience. All I can see from a watch like this is basically attention to detail. From the design, the attention to the case back, the finishing, the styling, the usability, the utilitarian effectiveness of this watch is wonderful. Now with the Fireman Enterprise, Ball has created a very good everyday watch in a classic size. It's thin enough to fit under the sleeves for formal occasions. It's also a smart looking watch. So when you fold up the sleeves for the weekend, it looks brilliant. Now, are there any negatives of the watch? As with all watches, there's always negatives, and to be honest, with this particular watch, I'm struggling to find any. It's really well built, it's extremely legible, day, night, the feel of it, the finish, the quality workmanship is exceptional. So I'm struggling to find any sort of faults with this watch, and if I have to be critical, I'd probably have to say that butterfly clasp. Being a butterfly clasp, obviously it's extremely comfortable, a wonderful experience on the wrist, but in saying that, you limit adjustability. So that could be one of the flaws that I could look at, but the bracelet itself is superb. Even with its screw links, its comfort, it's the way it tapers around the wrist, really, really nice. So now for me, I see a really well engineered watch. And as far as looks and style is concerned, well, that's subjective. That's subjective to the wearer. But for Tony from the Blue Mountains, I think he's chosen beautifully. This is a watch that he's going to enjoy not only for now, but for many years to come, and it's absolutely superb. So guys, for under $1,000, brilliant. Swiss made, superb finishing, amazing accuracy with that movement, and you know what? A really, really nice proposition. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.